back to the 5 O'Clock Sweats podcast. As always, I'm Ryan, joined by my two handsome buddies.
I'm Derek, the amateur moviegoer.
And I'm Chris, the one that's here to bring all the hateful takes.
And talk shit on me.
There you go.
So today's episode, we're going to talk about some movie-related stuff because we haven't done that in quite a while. And today we are going to talk specifically about some of our favorite movie sequels.
Yeah. Fitting now that we're in our second year of this podcast.
Ooh, the 5 O'Clock Sweats sequel.
That one. Yeah,
we're gonna have to
year number 2, baby.
We have a high bar to meet because we were so incredible in season 1.
Yeah, and handsome. You forgot handsome.
We're gonna be more handsome in season 2. I'm confident about that. We live in a world now, in a movie world now, where there are sequels left and right, remakes, but way too many sequels. And I say too many because a lot of them aren't good. But I mean, we're talking about like sequels to movies that came out in like the 90s or like early 2000s. Now, there have been a couple of really good ones, but just to name a few that have been announced recently or that are coming out soon, we have like Happy Gilmore 2, which I did see was just like greenlit today. We'll see with that one. It could be good, could not be good. Twisters, which is the sequel to Twister. This time there's 2 of them.
Oh, gosh. I didn't realize that was the actual name of the sequels, Twisters.
Oh, yeah.
This was a Super Bowl commercial, right? Or a big game commercial.
Yeah, and they just released a new trailer. And yeah, I'm going to see that. I'm definitely going to see it. I loved the original Twister. I watched that shit all the time when I was a kid. Probably too much because now I have like a deep-seated fear of tornadoes.
I don't think I've seen the original. Let me write that
It was on VHS at my aunt and uncle's house in Maryland, and whenever we visited them, I would always pop it in, and would give that baby a watch. We have Gladiator 2 that is going to be coming out in the future. We have Beetlejuice 2, which will be coming out this fall, I believe. Dodgeball 2, Austin Powers 4, and I don't know why I just thought of this one, but I did watch the Chicken Run sequel, Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget, which came on Netflix a few months ago, and I don't know why that just popped in my head as like one of the most random sequels I've ever seen.
What the hell is that?
Have you never seen the original Chicken Run? It's the claymation movie with the chickens and they're stuck on a chicken farm and they try to escape.
It's like it's made by the Wallace and Gromit folks.
Yeah, it's like a take on the Holocaust, basically.
Down.
Wow, this is an old movie. Okay.
Yeah, no, it came out a long time ago.
2000.
They just came out with a sequel this year. Better late than never.
Because we were all waiting. We were holding our breath for that.
The world was hungry, no pun intended, for more chicken.
Eat more
and we
chicken.
got the chicken. So anyway, that just kind of sets the stage for this episode. We live in a world of sequels, and we figured, why not talk about some of our favorite movie sequels? Not necessarily the best movie sequels, but just some of our favorites, some that just sit near and dear to our hearts. So I'm going to throw it over. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Just kidding. Chris, how about you? Start us off here. Let's have you name a movie sequel that you love.
So I'm going to take it back all the way to 1991. And I think this would actually be my favorite movie sequel. And it might be because I actually saw this one before the original one, but it would have to be Terminator 2.
T2, baby.
That's our boy, Jim Cameron. And
Jimmy.
I feel like this movie, it did have a good cast, but I just felt like it kind of epitomized 90s action movies. There was a lot of great, like gunfighting scenes, and it was just like, like classic, like cops have MP5s kind of thing. Like it just very 90s. But and this was like prime Arnold on the big screen when I didn't think he was cringe. And he just fits the movie so well. And I thought that the Terminator that they used with like basically like the liquid metal. I thought that was like so dope. Like what a
So cool.
Yeah, what a like a
Fucking
unique
sick.
adversary, which is not something like you've seen in many other movies. So, I mean, there was a huge technological jump in terms of effects and everything from the first movie to the second movie. But overall, I just felt like it was the best of the franchise, and after that, they progressively got worse and worse, like like most do. But I think this is a unique franchise in the sense that, like I said, the second movie, in my opinion, is the best film of the franchise.
How many are there total?
Oh man, there's a lot.
Like 5 now, because like there, or maybe even
Jeez.
6, because I know Terminator
Yeah.
3 came out like, I'm going to say like mid to early 2000s.
Yeah, that feels right.
And then
Wasn't
then
there a
they
new trilogy? Wasn't there
then
like
they started-
a new trilogy that came out?
well, see, I don't know. Like they got weird, and then like the most recent one was like, yeah, they like brought all the main characters back, kind of, but like,
They had like Arnold was Arnold was still the original Terminator,
Oh,
but he was
yeah.
old and grizzled, and
yeah,
they had a younger version of him or something, or they had another guy playing a new Terminator.
yeah.
don't know.
Honestly, God, I haven't seen probably the last like 2 that have come out, and you know, those movies. Again, in the 90s, the practical effects were great. That made the movie, in my opinion. But you know, the more recent ones obviously rely heavily on CGI, and I can't get behind that sometimes. You know, when there's like a certain look and aesthetic that I have gotten used to, like I have with the Terminator movies, like just seeing everything CGI is just, to me, it's pretty corny. Like even
Yeah.
even like Arnold is like CGI'd in some. It's just, I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't look too good.
It's
But
bad.
they nailed it in T2. The set pieces in that movie are great too. I love the chase sequence with when John Connor and Arnold are on a motorcycle and being chased by I don't know what to call. What do they call that enemy or that villain in the movie? He was
I
just
think it's the
Metal Man.
the T3000. I think.
Yeah, something like that sounds right. He's in the big truck and they're chasing, and he's just chasing him, and they're riding all over the place.
Okay,
And
so I was telling Chris this before the
Oh,
recording,
T1000.
but sometimes it's really difficult for me to remember which movie in like a series of movies is the plot for that movie. So that chasing,
Yeah.
that's the one where he's on the motorcycle. He's
he's
doing
got the
shotgun
shotgun
thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
They
like
have to like
one
modify
hand.
for him to do it.
Yeah,
That's fucking sick,
so
dude.
badass, man.
Yeah, he
These
has the
practical
sawed-off
effects.
shotgun. It's a
Yeah.
lever action shotgun, so he like shoots it and then he like swings it around.
So
And
cool.
like, yeah, so they're on the motorcycle, and then the T1000's chasing them basically in like a semi truck. And then like there's a one part where he goes like through the underpass and he loses the roof of the semi.
Yeah.
Right, so then he's
Yeah.
just driving a semi without a roof, which is kind of like dope. Yeah,
Incredible.
the whole thing is just dope in my opinion. I love that movie.
And just like
And-
the twist, like the twist in the beginning, like how it's coming off the first one where Arnold is the villain, the
Mhm.
clear villain, and then in this one, it's like, oh, he's back, he's gonna be bad again, except no, he's here to protect John. He's
Yeah,
the good guy.
it was, yeah, they did like a good job of, you're right, kind of like changing his role. Like you obviously started to sympathize with him, and then obviously like in the end it's like somewhat of a sad ending, I guess you could say. So I don't know how they brought like, you know, emotion into the Terminator movies, but I guess good writing, or maybe it was corny, I don't know. But when I was a kid, I ate that shit up.
No, it was good. They were like, they would bond. Like he was like John was teaching Arnold like some like human
Hmm.
thing, like some parts of like being a human, like saying, like being polite. He taught him like the thumbs up, didn't he? Didn't he teach him the thumbs up?
Yeah.
And that's when he's at the end when he's sinking into the lava, he holds
Yeah.
up the thumbs up.
Also, like
Famous.
the famous line of like "Hasta la vista,
Baby.
baby."
Does he say I'll be back in that one, or is that in the first Terminator? It's got to be in that. It's got to be.
It's in that one, yeah. Or it's like, "Come with me if you want to live."
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
There's some banger lines in that movie by Arnold. Iconic.
Yeah. So
I need to go back and
anyway,
watch that,
Terminator
too.
2, my favorite sequel. What about you guys?
Starting off hot. Damn.
Hot.
You want to go, Derek?
Yeah, sure. I sorted the stuff that I had written down kind of in order of how much I have to say about them.
That's fine.
I'm going to open up with Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Ooh,
The
yes.
most recent? Is that the most recent one?
The most recent live action, yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of it, the thing happens where the things don't happen. Yeah, okay, fair. But I mean, what? This movie, while it was being made, had so many rumors swirling around that like were all but confirmed about why was Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield around on the set. Oh, spoilers, by the way. Spoiler. But like the multiverse Spider-Man thing was fucking sick to just bring in for this movie.
Yeah.
And like it made so many cool moments throughout the movie. Not to mention like the just all-star Spider-Man cast, right? You had Willem Dafoe
back as the Goblin.
Yeah, you had Doc Ock come back. What's his name?
Yeah.
Not going to pull any of these names, but peek behind the curtain. We are recording this one in May, and that is currently Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. If you've watched pretty much any sports broadcast in the last 2 weeks, you probably know that. But I never really like saw representation in movies before. Like I heard people talk about it. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. There was never an example for me. So like I never really knew how it felt until this movie. Ryan, I think we went to go see this in theaters.
Sounds right.
I don't remember who we were with, but I think it was like a fairly large group of us that went. Maybe
Doesn't matter. All I cared about was you, baby.
7. I did sit right next to you, so
yeah, we held hands.
We did
the intense parts, and then the non-intense parts too.
I didn't,
and then afterwards too.
So really,
on the car ride home,
all of the time. It's impressive. We drove separately.
Rolled down the windows. The Doc Ock actor is Alfred Molina, by the way. Got to shout out Alfred.
But the scene specifically where Andrew Garfield comes in and Zendaya throws the bread at him or whatever, right? He's like sticking to the ceiling, and then Ned's grandma comes in and starts talking Filipino, and I'm sitting there like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme, like. And she's speaking Filipino. I'm leaning over to Ryan, like translating all the stuff that she's saying. I just felt so nice to like just exist in that moment in that theater right there. And I'm like, oh, this is what this feels like. This is fucking sick, man. And then the rest of the movie was just cool. Like,
oh man, yeah, it was like they didn't overdo it with the nostalgia, like and. You can say that you could argue they did, but it was done so well.
Yeah.
That I don't care.
The right amount.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, and you were talking about the hype going into it, like the expectations were so sky high that if honestly, if everyone didn't appear, people were going to be pissed off. Like it could have been, if it was just Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire and not the other, people would have been like, this is the worst movie ever. Yeah. What happened?
If they were just cameos, two people having like coffee at a cafe that say like a line kind of like a Stan Lee cameo, and then they never appear again, people would have been pissed.
Man, that would have been bad.
Yeah,
that would have been really bad. But no, they went
like
balls
Sonic
to the wall
with human teeth level bad.
They did that. Yeah, that's we'd have to like get an internet trend going for them to reshoot the movie.
No, this ain't the one, y'all.
Yeah, no, they really nailed it. And man, watching that movie made me realize that Andrew Garfield's probably my favorite Spider-Man, like my favorite live action version of Spider-Man. He's so good. Especially like this version of him where he's supposed to be like a little older. He has the trauma with
MJ,
with Gwen Stacy in his movie. Oops. Which, oh man, that scene towards the end when he saves Zendaya as she's falling, and then she asks him if he's okay, and he starts getting choked up. I started getting choked up. I remember seeing that. What was that? I think that was The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I remember seeing that in theaters with friend of the podcast Connor, And I was
course.
not expecting that scene to happen. And it was brutal too. It was really brutal.
Yeah, it was like emotional whiplash.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that I'm really glad they brought that back and kind of made it full circle. They did a great job with that.
Yeah, that was real good.
I hope they come back in a future Spider-Man movie. I know that the doors are just wide open now. They could come back whenever they want now, basically.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with our
Yeah.
friendly neighborhood Spider-Man right now. So the rights are back with Sony now or something like that.
Something like that. But I know I'm pretty sure they are working. They are actively either writing or the legwork for Spider-Man 4 is being worked on. So
And you got to
eventually.
do 8 times the legwork for that movie.
an arachnid joke.
Sick.
Wow.
He said arachnid.
An arachnid joke. And not to be overshadowed by the greatness of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield being on the same screen, but Willem Dafoe as the Goblin is so good. He just chews up every line, every scene he's in.
Dude,
Man,
even in the original movies, he was fucking sick.
yeah, no, he was the
He
like
interrupts
Sam
Aunt May
Raimi.
while she's fucking praying.
Yeah.
Oh. I think of
meme's
that
so good.
every time. Like,
Yeah, it's
a lot.
it's a
That's
great
my
scene.
Roman Empire. And deliver us from evil.
It's a
Right?
pretty good Aunt May impersonation.
Thanks, dog.
You really you aged like 50 years right there.
I was going to correct your math, but that's probably good math. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Ugh.
Honestly,
Spider-Man, No Way
she's
Home.
probably older. Yeah. Fantastic movie. Good choice.
We
Damn,
like
two
it. We love
bangers.
it.
Two bangers.
What you
to start
got
us
for
off.
us? What did you
Man,
cook up?
I got nothing. I'm kidding. What do I choose? Well, you did a Marvel movie. Chris did an action movie. Let's see.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna
tough,
go. I'm gonna go with Toy Story 2 and 3. I'm gonna include both of them. I'm gonna bundle them together because Toy Story 1 is obviously a classic,
Oh, easy.
but Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3 for me are leaps and bounds better, and I thought they got better progressively. Like I think 3 might be the best one.
Yeah,
But 2 is
3
so
was
good.
phenomenal with the whole daycare stuff. You had more characters that didn't like encroach on what was already in like the previous Toy Stories.
Yeah,
You had the whole Andy of it all.
and
What
and
else?
and a great villain too. Like that bear. I hated that guy. Fuck that bear.
Yeah.
I never wanted to punch a teddy bear in the face so much than that guy. He was the worst. His name was like Cuddles or something. What was his name? His name
Lotso
was-
Huggin' Bear.
Lotso
Lotso.
yeah, Lotso. Yeah, that was it. But I want to start with Spider-Man, or not Spider-Man. Whoa! I want to start with Toy Story 2 because yeah, they did a great job adding new characters. Like all the characters they added were great. Jesse,
Yeah. Prospector.
Prospector, Bullseye. Is that the
The
horse's
horse.
name?
Yeah.
Those cast of characters are all great. I don't know why, but the
Gleba.
scene with the old man cleaning Woody and like fixing
Oh,
him
yeah,
up
Al's
after
toy
he
barn.
tears his arm. That scene just like soothes me. It like puts me in a good mood whenever I watch it.
I know what you're talking about.
It's relaxing.
Everything's got its like right place. He knows exactly where it is. He's got like 50 of the parts that he needs. He's
Yeah.
painting over Andy's name.
Yep. And yeah, the characters are all great, and then the scene where Jessie sings "When She Loved Me." I love that song. I have it on my Spotify playlist. It's sad as fuck, but you know, if I'm just like feeling in my feelings, I'll put it on sometimes.
Dude.
That song is so good, and the story is heartbreaking. Like she was this girl's favorite toy. The girl got older, moved on. She collected dust under the bed, and then one day she picked her up and she thought she was going to play with her, and she threw her in a box and put her on the side of the road. Yep.
I can't get over the fact.
Somebody loved me.
Stop.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You doing good? I'm doing good.
Was beautiful.
You guys like football or yeah?
Oh
Okay, we
my
don't have to
God.
pretend to be men on this show.
No, it was just raining near my eyes.
Chris, I'm going to send you that song. You listen to it and you don't tell me.
I know the song. I've
you know-
watched these movies. I know what you're talking about, but I just can't believe that you have that shit in your, like, straight up in a playlist.
I do.
Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
from Oppa Gangnam Style right into that.
No, it's on my liked songs playlist. So like, it's so eclectic. Everything. No songs make sense. Like one
Oh,
song to the
God.
next goes from like Kendrick Lamar, Elton John to like Gangnam Style, and then like
When
The Harlem
somebody
Shake.
loved me.
Harley.
And then
Terrorita.
and then Blurred Lines.
Blurred Lines.
I know you are.
Smile like Mr. Brightside. Yeah. But yeah, Toy Story 2, great banger. The chicken guy, who was voiced by Newman from Seinfeld. That guy sucked.
Fucking guy.
He was the guy that stole Woody from
Oh,
the
yeah.
yard
Yeah.
sale.
Oh,
And he had
yeah,
Cheetos
he's
all
dressed
over it.
up.
Oh, my
I was,
camera's
I was
like-
thinking
my
of a
camera's falling.
literal chicken.
Well, he
Like a
does wear
chicken
like
toy.
he wears a chicken costume, and then
Yeah.
there's that one scene where he falls asleep eating all those Cheetos, and they're on the ground, and they're all trying to walk around the Cheetos. They're like landmines. Yeah. And then the whole Buzz side story with Zurg, and he
Zurg.
finds out Zurg's his father.
Oh yeah, on the
Such a good
elevator.
reference, dude.
ripped straight out of Star Wars. It was so funny.
It's so
Wait,
good.
wasn't there like another Buzz?
Yeah, he goes to a toy store and
Yeah,
like
like
a
tries
fake
to open
Buzz?
more buzzes.
Yeah,
Like
I'm actually
And
blanking
they
on
still
one.
think they're like space cops. He's like, no, you're a toy. Or whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah. Oh, and that's the Buzz that fights Zurg. That's
Yeah.
okay. The new Buzz, because he's still LARPing as Buzz.
He's LARPing.
Fake
Buzz
Buzz.
LARPier.
Yeah, Toy Story 2 is a banger, and then Toy Story 3, that came out when we were getting
High
close to
school?
graduating from high school, like what, junior or senior year of high
boy.
school. I remember
Oh,
I went
boy.
with a ton of we had like a group of like at least 10 people. We went to go see Toy
Yeah.
Story 3 like opening weekend.
2010.
And-
God.
Like it was so relatable because Andy was around our age, probably a little older at that point. And my camera won't stay put right now. Anyway, and
Did
so
you see
he was more relatable, and we kind of understood like, okay, like we're not playing with our toys like that anymore either, so it makes sense that he would want to move on. The whole, again, the fucking Lotso bear, fuck that guy.
It smells like strawberries.
Oh wait, wasn't it like Barbie and Ken in this one too?
Yeah, Barbie and Ken were in this one. Ken was great. Yeah, he was funny in the scenes he was in. But then like just that ending, man, like the last 20 minutes of the movie are just like heart-wrenching.
Did you
I never-
see the video of the two brothers that edited the end of that movie and then showed it to their mom?
Oh God, no, I don't think I have.
So, okay, this is a 14-year-old movie. If you haven't seen it by now, spoiler alert, it's fine. So you know how they're like about to just beef it at the end, going into the fucking incinerator, and they get
Man,
saved by the aliens or whatever?
Yep, the claw.
Yeah, these two brothers, like Buzz and Bo Peep Buzz and Jesse hold hands. And
Yeah,
like,
Buzz and
the
Jesse.
toys are holding hands, are like ready to accept their fate. And then these two brothers edited it so that it just fades to black, and then the credits roll. And then they showed that
Oh,
version
yeah.
to their mom. And she's like, "What? What?" She's like,
I think I
sobbing.
have seen that. That was that's brilliant.
If it ended that way, I would have been so broken.
I wonder if there was any moment at the Pixar studios when they were like, we could just end this shit in the darkest way possible, and just ruin some kids' days.
Yeah, they're like, "How about a 120-minute movie instead?"
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, then like the very end when Andy brings the toys to the little girl, and you know she loves them, and then she loves the toys, and then he's looking fondly back at them like he misses them, like oh man, that used to be me. I don't know, just that movie makes me cry. Like I can't watch that movie without crying.
I know.
I never thought I was gonna have that reaction when I went in to see that movie for the first time, but it hit so hard.
Yeah, I feel you.
Props to Toy Story 3 and 2. Chris, do you have another one you'd like to talk about?
All right. Well, I think you mentioned something about dark. And speaking of dark, I'm going to throw in The Dark Knight. Got to be another top sequel to Batman Begins. Then we have The Dark Knight. And of course, everyone knows Heath Ledger's, amazing role as the Joker. So that's, of course, part of it. But I think for me, that movie has one of the most iconic opening scenes with the essentially the bank heist, and with the clown masks and everything. And that's when that's when we essentially meet the Joker. But I don't know. It's Batman. It's Christian Bale. It's Heath Ledger. And I really felt like that one, I don't know, like it made because Batman movies have always been about like his enemy. And I think like that to me was one of the best and the strongest like performances as an enemy character. And I felt like, the movie didn't feel totally like a Batman movie. It felt like a Joker movie kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was awesome. And subsequently, The Dark Knight Rises, I also felt good. I really liked that portrayal of Bane. It's cool because, growing up, I was a huge Batman fan. So to see like a lot of those characters kind of reimagined in a somewhat more realistic way.
Yeah.
Not that it's, super realistic, but you can kind of see like they toned a lot of things down and made all those enemies a little bit more human.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I thought that was really cool. And then of course,
have like tubes and shit coming out of his back.
Exactly. Yeah. Like in the old, the OG, like Bane was literally like, I think they used like some pro wrestler as
he was wearing like a luchador mask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nacho.
Could you imagine if he just had a luchador mask in that movie? And do you think you're in charge?
He's wondering why you would throw a man out of a plane.
I've thrown many men out of a ring.
Luchador mask.
I was born.
I was born in this mask.
I was born in the ring, molded by it. Oh man!
And then it just like segues into Nacho Libre.
It was Jack Black all along.
So anyway, Dark Knight is a big time sequel for me, and that's another one where I actually felt like that movie was better than Batman Begins.
For sure.
Not that Batman Begins was bad in any way. I just felt like that was more kind of up my alley, and it set the tone for the third movie. But I don't think either the first or the third quite met the the level of the second one there.
No, and it's all thanks to Heath Ledger. Like a movie like that's only as good as its villain, and he is possibly the best villain in any live action movie ever, and that's saying a lot. Absolutely incredible. Like you can't talk about movie sequels without mentioning The Dark Knight. Like that is on the Mount Rushmore of movie sequels. I think it's incredible. So I knew you were going to talk about that. I didn't even have it on. I had it on the general list, but I didn't have it on my list.
Yeah.
I also have it on my own list. Because we saw the Dark Knight Rises together, and then I think immediately after we went to the beach or something.
I think you're right, actually. But
No. I remember this. Okay, so prior to the release of Dark Knight Rises, they played the first two movies.
Y'all watched all of them.
Ryan, I did not, but I know Ryan was there. And by the time you got to the third movie, because I don't know if I was in the same theater as you, but I know I was there with some people, and like I'm pretty sure like your eyes were like bleeding.
I was exhausted
because if I remember correctly, you also sat like in one of the first few rows.
No,
For,
that wasn't.
I thought for the other. Okay, maybe
no,
not.
that was for a different movie. But
yeah, I mean,
we sat in the back actually.
First two movies are what? That's like 6 hours combined, probably.
Yeah, like
five-ish?
Has to be.
4.5 to 5. Yeah.
And then he's
if
like,
it's 5 or if it's 6, I don't think it matters at that point.
At that point,
he basically clocked in a 9 to 5 in watching movies. It was incredible. I don't have that kind of stamina to watch movies,
Dude,
but
same.
yeah, it was because they were always summer releases. I know Dark Knight
like
and Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, they were summer releases, which I always thought was pretty dope.
big blockbuster movie.
So great movies. They don't make them like they used to. And,
or do they?
And I'm going to straight up say it. The new Batman does not hit the same. I don't care what you say. Fight me in the comments. I will die on that hill.
I don't think people were saying it's better than The Dark Knight. It's good. I think it's great actually, but it's going to be hard to top The Dark Knight. Any live action Batman will be compared to that movie for the rest of time.
It's it just can't. No, like no.
Well, yeah, and it sucks for like anybody trying to play the Joker live action. Like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker's fine, but like if you're gonna have a Batman movie with a Joker
that's a different
villain,
guy, basically.
Yeah, like come on, like you can't.
I don't
can't live up to it.
I don't think the Joaquin Phoenix Joker does well in a Batman movie.
No, but he's fine in his own solo movie.
Mm-hmm. Exactly,
Really,
I agree. But
I'm excited for that new one. By the way, speaking of sequels, I'm excited for the musical version with Lady Gaga.
Oh God,
that's coming out. I'll be there opening weekend. You didn't hear about this, Derek? You didn't see the trailers? So there's a sequel to the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, and it's going to be like a pseudo musical with Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah,
but how? I guess I'll find out when it comes out, huh?
As a great man once said, life finds a way.
Oh.
And the Joker will find a way. And Gaga will find a way.
Oh, I thought you were going to transition into a Jurassic Park.
Well, I was thinking about it, but also I think you're next.
I'm going to do it, dude.
All right, well, fine.
Yeah, do the things you want to do, man. Live your truth.
It was too good to really pass it up, so we're gonna skip Derek, even though it's AAP month, right? Sorry, AAPI. What? it's your month, and I'm skipping you. I'm sorry.
He said A. He's like, it's AARP month, right?
I'm not great with acronyms. I think this sequel is very underrated, and rightly so, because it follows an absolute classic, and that is Jurassic Park: The Lost World.
Now, what is the plot of this one? I don't remember this one because I tend to flock to the OG Jurassic Park if I'm in the mood for dinos.
Basically, and it's been a while since I've seen it, but basically, the only guy from the cast from the first movie that returns is Jeff Goldblum.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another island with there's a second Jurassic Park island, and there's an outbreak of some sort. There's an attack in the beginning of the movie, and then I guess he gets called to the scene to check it out. I think he's writing a book in the movie, if I'm not mistaken. If Connor listens to this episode, he will correct me on anything I say wrong, and I'm probably going to say a lot wrong. But generally, what I remember most about this movie is just it being a fun movie. Didn't try too hard to outdo the original. I think it knew that it was living in the original shadow, but it didn't lay down and just accept that it was going to be like it wasn't shit. It was like pretty entertaining. There's a sequence which I think is honestly one of the better sequences in any of the Jurassic Park movies, where there's 2 Tyrannosaurus Rexes. They saw the first one and they're like, let's do 2 of those things. And there's they find a baby Tyrannosaurus Rex. And
is it cute?
Where there's babies, there's mama and papa.
Jesus.
or mom and mom,
in
or
some
dad and dad,
families,
who
yeah.
knows? But yeah, so they take this baby T-Rex to try to, like, I think it's hurt, and they're trying to heal it, or to, give it some medicine. And the other two T-Rexes come and wreak havoc. They are in like a trailer thing, like a long trailer sort of office thing, and it's just a really good scene where they're like pushing the trailer off a cliffside, and then it's like half of it's hanging off the cliffside, and they're inside like trying to climb up. It's very like Nathan Drake-esque from the Uncharted series, like just a really like well shot, well edited, and entertaining sequence. And he got two T-Rexes.
I didn't remember if I knew that I watched this movie, but that scene alone, I'm like, yes, I've absolutely seen that. But I think it might have been like in the waiting room at a doctor's office or something. Might have been the last time I saw it.
Wait,
because I vividly remember only that scene.
Isn't this the Vince Vaughn Jurassic Park?
Oh shit! I think you're right. He is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, if I remember correctly, this one I kind of lost along the way, because doesn't it like start to get off on like a Godzilla vibe?
Well, what happens is they decide to tranquilize one of the T-Rexes and bring them over to New York or whatever city they're in. And obviously it wakes up and then is just like roaming around the suburbs, or it doesn't, I don't think it's not, I don't think it goes into the city. I think it's in like the suburbs, just like walking around, and it's at night and people are sleeping and there's a T-Rex stomping down the street. It does get a little off the rails in that way, but like not too much. It's still like fun. And then they eventually lower it back onto the boat, and it goes back to, I don't think they kill it. I think they end up shipping it back to the island.
I just remember like there's a scene, and then like there's just a backdrop of like the city behind the T-Rex, and I'm just like, this is a little bit off the rails here.
Is this the one where like it wakes up a little girl and she looks out her window and there's like a T-Rex in her backyard?
I think
she like wakes up her parents. She's like,
Yeah, that sounds like something that would happen in the suburbs where there's a T-Rex stomping around.
Yeah, and people sleeping,
kids sleeping and waking up their parents, being like, "Mommy, Daddy, there's a monster out back. there's a sharp tooth outside." They had been watching Land Before Time. Yeah, and Spielberg directed it too, so it was never going to be shit. It was still going to be fun, and it is fun, and so it's a perfectly fine sequel to what is one of the greatest movies of all time.
I guess I must have seen more of this movie more recently than I remember, if I'm remembering two scenes this far apart. So, yeah.
All right, now we'll get back to you. I'm sorry.
Okay, now that you've allowed me to go,
I've given you permission.
Your permission. I'm actually going to skip my next one because I'm pretty sure you're going to bring it up. So the one after that is a sequel to a movie that has an actor that my dad likes a lot. And this is Johnny English, starring Mr. Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean.
Yeah, okay.
You guys ever see this?
I've seen, I do remember like it was on TV and my eyes were looking at it, but I just remember it being like incredibly, I don't want to say stupid because that sounds like I'm ripping the movie, but just dumb humor, like dumb fun. Yeah. I have no idea what the plot was. I only remember I remember him on the screen doing some silly shit. That was about it.
This is basically, hey, what if Mr. Bean was a spy and talked?
Okay. Yeah, it was basically
literally
like
exactly that.
Johnny English.
Mr. Bean is James Bond vibe.
Yeah. It's the first one I watched with him. I rewatched with him maybe like a month or two ago, and it was not the one that I thought it was. So I think I must have been thinking of Johnny English Reborn, the second one, or maybe the one after
Johnny
that.
English Reborn.
Yes,
what a
there's
great
more.
title.
It's so good, dude. But like, it's just full of like that Mr. Bean, like slapstick, like I don't even know what kind of comedy to call that, but like he's chasing a guy, and the guy like he's super athletic, and he like climbs a fence, and Johnny English just opens a gate and walks through it, and like the guy then runs away from him and climbs down a bunch of scaffolding, like a bazillion floors to the ground level, and Johnny English just takes the elevator all the way down. And like me and my dad are watching, and he's just like busting a gut laughing. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right, Dad. Yeah, you're right.
Johnny English.
I feel like a new item on my bucket list is to watch this movie with Derek's dad.
Dude,
And just have him belly laughing the whole time.
He's we can do that. We can make that a reality.
Yeah, let's do that. Maybe let's do
Special
it for
episode.
Father's Day. Father's Day.
I am down, is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Your dad can get in on it too.
My dad would be for
can have a
it if I
foursome.
paid him.
Wait, what?
A Father's Day foursome?
All right, everyone settle down.
As his camera slowly
The
wants to not have him on screen.
The gift of companionship on Father's Day. And Johnny English.
It's so
Reborn.
good. Yeah. Oh, 2 is definitely the one I'm talking about. This has Daniel Kaluuya in it. There's a scene on a plane where my dad still references it to this day because he calls the one of the Chinese guys incapacitates a what are they called? Flight crew? The people on the plane?
Flight attendant?
Flight
Yeah.
attendant, yeah. He incapacitates a flight attendant and takes her name tag and says Susan on it. And like he goes up to Johnny English and like is basically trying to murk him on this plane. And Daniel Kaluuya's character's like, that's not Susan, man. And he's like, no. It's Shushan.
It sounds like
And-
it's straight out of The Naked Gun.
My
Or Airplane.
brother-in-law's stepmom's name is Susan. So every time he sees her, he says, Shushan. Like,
Shush.
you can't be saying that right now. Every time.
He's never going to say Susan the right way ever again.
Yep. Yep.
Shushan.
It's been,
Shushan.
this movie came out in 2011. So it's been like 13 years. He's
Man.
been saying Shushan.
Hey, I respect it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shouts out to my dad and Johnny
Shushan.
English. All right, I think we'll throw it over to Chris. You got another one?
Yeah, I think this will probably be my last good one. I would say I kind of keep going back to this whole sequel better than the original vibe,
Yeah.
and it's taking me to Top Gun Maverick. It's taking me right there to Top Gun Maverick. Now, I will admit, I'm not the biggest Tom Cruise fan,
Yeah.
but I like
that's
Top
fair.
Gun Tom Cruise, and this movie was good. It didn't feel, because I think sometimes these sequels, like, you can just tell they're trying to be too woke, and like I didn't seriously that like I didn't get like a vibe where they were like sacrificing like the integrity and the whole like the history of the movie in an effort to whatever please
Mhm.
people. And I think it was just a good action film, and the like the jet sequences were even cooler than in the original. And of course I think the characters were good. You had a lot of old characters, and then you introduced a lot of new characters, like a new generation of pilots, and it just kind of had all the right tones. There was humor, there was kind of like some romance, there was like the
Mustaches.
like there was a lot of like sentimental moments when you're
There's some
bringing back some old characters and
homoeroticism on the beach with men playing football with their shirts off, which, by the way,
I was like, again?
why were they using 2 footballs? What kind of football were they playing? What were they doing?
Oh yeah, wait, didn't they say that? It was like it was
What?
as part of like some training thing. I don't know. I forget what it was. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
But anyway,
I've still not seen Top Gun Maverick, so I have no idea.
Fuck. All
But,
right.
Yeah.
another
Get that
another
projector
beach
ready.
scene.
There's another beach scene. They had to. It was like a staple. It's a Top Gun scene.
They're self-aware. They know.
Yeah, they know that they have to please their audience.
I just really think like the camera work and everything, the way they shot the film, like actually in jets, like literally flying, like those sequences were just so cool. And then
Yeah,
You know,
I saw
of
that
course,
in the
like-
trailers. It looks sweet.
the suspense at
So
the end
cool.
where they have to make this crazy run. It's like an impossible mission. And, you know, of course, spoiler, they do it.
Oh wow. Never
Damn,
would've
Derek
guessed.
just said he didn't watch it. And you go ahead and spoil it.
Did you
all,
think-
all I was talking about was the beach scene.
Well, that's a spoiler. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, though, I actually love the original Top Gun, but I kind of feel like this one beats it. I don't know what, Ryan, what you think.
It's not even close.
Oh, wow.
For me, like I think this movie, it feels like Top Gun, but it's newer and it looks nicer, and the budget is like 1,000 times better.
That's true.
So yeah, for me, it's really not even like I like Top Gun. I like the original Top Gun. I think it's fun. It's a little campy. It has that like 80s flair to it, so it's like it's fun.
It's a vibe.
Yeah, but this like Top Gun Maverick's a straight up like thrilling blockbuster action movie. Like that, it's so incredible, and it just like kept getting better and better and better. I thought it was going to end like several different times, and then just kept going, and I was like, please keep going.
And And another thing too is like it's funny. I usually don't like movies where like the sequel is like, you know, one of the main characters like kids or you know what I mean? Like where they're like passing the torch. I feel like they always just flop, you know, because like the new actor doesn't match the same character as like the original, you know, whatever. But this actually felt like pretty good. You know, it's like the passing of the torch, but it didn't feel too corny. I just think that's like kind of played out thing. It's like, you know, oh look, that's so and so's son.
Yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. That usually gets corny, but this kind of worked.
Yeah, Miles Teller's great in that movie, and the whole dynamic with him and Tom Cruise, like there's a bit of resentment there, and then you learn why. Because, well, I'm not gonna spoil for Derek, but there's a reason why Miles Teller resents Tom Cruise a little bit, and yeah, and it's a good character building moment between the two of them over the course of the movie. It's a good journey they go on together. Yeah, that movie just like had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. Like it was a pleasure to watch.
Didn't you see it like multiple times?
I saw it 3 times, I think, in theaters. I think I did. I saw it with you.
Yeah, that was the first time, right?
I think that was my second time seeing it.
Was it?
I think.
You're hogging all the watches. Let me
And
have
I saw
one.
I saw it with my dad too. I'm locking all the watches. There's tickets to everybody. Well, everybody that can fit in the theater. But man, the scene for me in that movie that just like I always think about is the scene where Tom Cruise is trying to prove that the run can happen, like this impossible run is possible, and the score and just like cinematography and just everything. It's like it's so tense, like, and then yeah, it's a thrilling movie, and everything is like there's barely any CGI, which just blows my mind. I don't know how they shot the movie. Like I really don't know how logistically they shot the movie. It's incredible. And I know Tom Cruise said like they intentionally waited this long to make a sequel because they wanted technology to catch up to where it is now, to the point where they can shoot the movie they envisioned. And it's worth the wait.
What I understand is a lot of the scenes were shot like actually with the actors in a jet, but they were obviously the passenger, and I guess the camera work allows it to kind of make it look like they're the pilot still. But it's like, you know, probably from the angle like behind the real pilot's head, you know, filming them and their real reactions. But yeah, it's just good, and it delivers on like what the first one did, but like like you said, like 1,000-fold, and it's a fun ride. No pun intended there, but
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see, because I think the way it ended left it open for.
No, they're making a sequel. They think they've already said they're making a sequel.
Oh, and was this the movie where you and I guess somebody else, we tried to see it, and it was like a week or two after release, and it was sold out?
It was TJ. Yeah, we tried to see it at the local theater, and then we had to go to a theater that was like 15 minutes away to see
that's what it was. Yeah.
It was sold out.
I can't remember the last time a movie theater was sold out.
It was, and you know what? I don't even think it was the second week. I think it was like a month after it came out.
Yeah.
It was some time had passed, and it was still like, I mean, that thing was in the theaters for like 6 months, maybe longer than that. It was killing.
Yeah.
It's one of the top grossing movies of all time.
Yeah, it had a long ass run. I don't know if it was 6 months, but
felt like 6 months.
Might have been. But yeah, a great movie. If you haven't seen it, see it. Derek?
I've already written it down.
Yeah, acquire that movie, and we can watch it on the projector.
It's streaming
in whole hands.
Right?
Yeah, it's on. I actually think it's on Max.
It might be on Max, actually. Yeah.
I remember finding it recently, like very easily, like real easily.
If not, maybe I'll rent or buy it. You're right.
Yeah, you'll acquire it. All right, I think it's my turn, right? As my I'm just gonna leave my camera where it's at. This is fine. This is a great angle of my face. All right, I'm gonna talk about a movie that I just watched recently again because I was trying to refresh my memory for a movie I saw last night, and that is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And this movie,
I've never seen a Planet of the Apes movie.
Well, you should at least watch the newer trilogy. I think, and I just rewatched them all this weekend, I think it's super underrated. I think it's one of the best modern trilogies that we have. It's so fucking good. And Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is like that trilogy's Dark Knight. It is incredible. It's better than the first one in every way. And the first one's not bad. The first one it's a very similar trilogy to the Nolan Batman trilogy, where the first movie is good, second movie is incredible, and the third movie is really good. But for me, the middle movie is the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which is the middle movie in this trilogy, is my favorite. It is just nonstop action and just tense character moments and really good storytelling from start to finish. It's just pedal to the metal the whole movie. There's like barely any downtime, and the opening is great. It starts off on a great note. So if you're not familiar with the movies, which I'm sure you can kind of guess the general plot, but in the first movie, apes, they get smart. There's a manufactured virus made by humanity to fight Alzheimer's, and it ends up making apes incredibly intelligent, and then has a reverse effect on humans where it ends up killing like most of humanity. In the second movie, and 10 years have passed between the two movies, the apes have just kept getting smarter and smarter to the point where they're speaking English, not all the time. They're mostly still communicating in sign language. But the main ape, Caesar, played brilliantly by Andy Serkis. Like, Andy Serkis deserved an Oscar for this movie, at least a nomination, because my God, he is a revelation. He is so good as Caesar. The motion capture work is just absolutely stunning. Like, this movie has the best visual effects. I mean, the whole trilogy has the best special effects, maybe CGI I've ever seen. Like, it's incredibly done. Like, the apes look photorealistic, and the mocap, their facial expressions are fantastic. Like, they're not afraid to get like close up and do like really close up face shots of these apes. And man, it's it's thrilling to watch. It's beautiful to watch, and the story is great. Again, is a lot of great action. There is a villain in the movie who is just completely unhinged and savage, I forgot how savage he was in this movie, but he is fucking savage, man. And if you're on Twitter recently, you might have seen the trend of putting Koba in every movie, and Koba is the main villain ape in the second one. It's kind of like how they put like Paddington Bear in all those movies. They put Koba in like just like a still shot of Koba photoshopped into a random scene in a movie. So funny.
Oh yeah, and I like in a similar note, I like Foghorn Leghorn in anime.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah,
I sent you a couple of those where he's talking to Goku. He's like, I say, boy, get up.
he's talking to Vegeta. He's like, that Final Flash ain't gonna work. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was
same energy.
Yeah. But yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It's so good. I can't recommend it enough. Chris, I saw you giving me a thumbs down. Was that just for Planet of the Apes in general, or was that for that specific movie?
No, I don't mess with talking apes.
Man, you should though.
I've seen like the 2001 Mark Wahlberg one.
Don't watch it. Don't have to watch the older ones. You can just watch these and be riveted by them.
Isn't the original like from like the 60s?
Yeah, it's an old it's a dated movie, and they didn't have the luxury of mocap CGI back then. So, people in ape makeup, which actually for the time was really looked good, I guess. But that movie also takes place like thousands of years in the future when the apes have like really established their society and whatnot, and they're basically like on the level of humans. Probably more so, honestly. They've advanced that much. But this movie really is a great continuation of the first one, and it's got some decent actors. I mean, Andy Serkis, like I said, Jason Clarke, who isn't like he's great in this movie. I mean, he's not really a household name or anything like that, but he's really good in this movie. And then Gary Oldman, he's in it too. He's great.
He's always good. Yeah. I don't know. You had me at face shots, so maybe
facials. Yeah.
maybe I'll take a peek.
Man, but yeah, I can't recommend this movie enough. It's one of my favorite movies. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I've confirmed that by watching it again this weekend. I was like, this movie fucking rocks. It's so good. And yeah, anybody listening to this who hasn't seen that movie or the trilogy that came out, not too long ago, I can't recommend it enough. It's so good. The third one's good too, but it's for me. This is it. This is the one. So good. All right. Do we want to do like a lightning round really quick?
Yeah, I could do that. I have a couple more.
You want to just
talk about?
Go ahead. Talk about one.
Oh no, just in lightning round form.
Oh, okay,
I'm cool with that.
All right. Chris, you wanna name one that we haven't talked about yet? Quickly.
All right. So real quick, just throwing a few out there. Not going to really dive into them, but I would say every movie in the John Wick series after the first one is gold.
They get better and better.
I'm a fan of Gung Fu,
baby.
And I just love when movies know what the audience wants and they just keep giving it to you in like kind of like innovative ways. And I think John Wick progressively does that. So John Wick, and I think I'll throw one more out there, and it's going to be, all right. I got to throw like a funny one in there. So I think 22 Jump Street, not bad. Definitely doesn't come anywhere close to the first one, but it's still a fun watch, and it's the same crew. So I enjoyed that. I think as far as comedy sequels go, that was a pretty good one. Most of the comedy sequels suck.
My name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
Yeah,
and that's like the first 2 minutes of the movie, right?
Yeah, it's iconic. All right, Derek, you got one or two you want to talk about really quick?
Yeah, this one kind of came to mind as we were talking during the episode, but Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the most recent. Yeah, that was. I loved the first one, Into the Spider-Verse. I loved the second one, and I cannot wait for the third one. So whenever that one is, I will be watching the fuck out of that.
It was supposed to be out by now, but they delayed it. They delayed it. I don't know when it's coming out now. I have no idea.
Timelines.
Yeah.
Another one that I was thinking about was Kill Bill Volume 2.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah. This was it's just like it felt like just a straight up continuation of the first one. Like, it didn't feel like they tried to put any English on the ball. They didn't try to like take a new angle. It was just, she's got to kill some more people, and then like good old Billy's up too. What's going there? So we got some closure, kind of. There's some frame inspection going on there. Was he really dead, or was he
5-finger death punch?
We don't know.
He dead.
And I think you're going to bring up the last one that I wanted to bring up. So
go ahead. No, you bring it up. No, I've got a couple.
This is something that we watched together that you posted on the story, but Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Oh my God.
Baby.
Why does this make its way into every episode?
It has to.
We got to get into the Pussiverse.
Yeah, we have to please the audience. They expect Puss.
His little kitty nose, little kitty whisker, little kitty tummy, little kitty feet. And then there's plot too. Oh.
And one of the best animated villains ever. Like, just like a great, randomly great villain in a movie like that. Man, death. Yeah, the wolf is so good. The wolf is fantastic. He's well animated, well choreographed with the action and everything. So yeah, really good. Yeah. That movie had no business being that good. I will sing the praises of that movie till the day I die.
I believe that. Yeah, that's it for my lightning round. What about you?
Well, sticking with in the Shrekiverse, the Pussiverse that goes into the Shrekiverse, Shrek 2 is phenomenal. I think Shrek 2 is better than Shrek 1, and kind of falls in that
soundtrack slaps.
I need a hero. I need a hero. Yeah, that whole
glad you didn't know the
chase
lyrics,
sequence.
because I'm pretty sure that is the line of
that
what
whole
we're allowed to do.
That whole chase sequence where that song's playing, and then you have big gingerbread man. They're luring him to the castle, and then the scene I love, like the cops reference where they catch they catch him, and then Puss has like the bag of catnip. He's like, that's not mine. And then friggin' Pinocchio's wearing a thong for some reason.
I'm not wearing women's underwear.
That was gross. Oh man, yeah, that movie's so good. A lot of fun. I know you each mentioned a couple. Let's see. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Again,
Bucky.
Another sequel that's better. Oh, and this one's a lot better, like leaps and bounds better than the first one.
Oh yeah.
This is just like an incredibly shot action movie. Like the choreography, there's CGI, but like the combat, hand-to-hand combat scenes, especially between Cap and Bucky, like are just so good. Like the fight scene in the street where Bucky's got the knife and is like throwing it up, catching it, and like it just is so fucking good. Like I could watch that scene on repeat. That movie, and it's got some espionage aspects to it too. Some humor, as all Marvel movies do, and then the elevator sequence with Cap, also really good. Man, I love that movie. Chris, do you have anything else?
I'm good.
Yeah. Well, if you want to catch a sequel to this episode, you can find us on YouTube. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And because I had to say it in a different order this time, we're also on socials. We are at 5 o'clock sweats on both Instagram and X/Twitter. Anything else, boys?
Jaws 2 wasn't shit either. Jaws 2 could have been absolute shit. It should have been shit, but they actually made it into a solid movie. So
I don't know if I've seen Jaws 2. Again, I'm real bad at.
You're not really missing much, but it's fine for a sequel. the
It's
third and the
horrible.
fourth one.
It's horrible.
It's not horrible compared to the third and fourth one.
Isn't that the one where he bites the wire?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're gonna
could
end
that
the
possibly be?
let's end the episode here.
And as always, stay
Stay
sweaty.
sweaty.
Bites
Bites
the wire.
a wire?
He does bite a wire. That's how he dies. He
Yeah,
gets
like a
electrocuted to death.
power wire.
Oh, I thought he was going to like take the power out and then start terrorizing the town. I'm like, how?
He stole
How?
power from the community. This
He's swimming.
shark's evolved. He's very smart.
Shit.
He's evolved. He's got legs now. He goes onto the land, eating people.